Every morning, thousands of scavengers stream to the Dandora dump site in the Kenyan capital, Nairobi. The people here try to earn a few dollars a day to help make ends meet. Gangs and cartels are set to control the landfill. It's a dangerous place, especially for children like Richie.
A boy was killed over there. If you go there, they'll steal from you. And when they do, they'll make sure to maim you too.
For Richie, trash is a lifeline. For others, it's a multi-million-dollar business. The Korogocho slum awakens before dawn. Some of the children head off to school. 12-year-old Richie Spicer Mondi and his mother have lived here their entire lives. Richie wishes he could join the other kids, but the last time he went to school was 3 years ago.
It's been so long that I can barely remember it.
Instead of getting an education and playing with other children, Richie has to go to the Dandora dump site, where he tries to make a living by picking and selling plastics.
I have to go to the dump site because we're poor. I can't go to school because I can't afford the school fees. I used to try to go to school anyway, but every time I was sent back home. I was told I have debts to pay. So what choice do I have?
While her son goes to collect waste, Maureen Aoko, who is sick and cannot work, stays behind. The single mother is HIV positive and feels constantly weak despite medication. She says because of the stigma attached to the disease, she and her son are treated like outlaws in their own community.
There are times when I'm so desperate that I just start crying. I ask myself, what kind of life do I have? Will there ever be a day when I will be healed, when I'll be like everyone else? There are times when I'm angry.
She says she is plagued by a guilty conscience for not being able to send her son to school, and by fear for his safety.
It's like the dump site has demons who ask for blood. There are days when there is just too much evil, seriously. You hear of people killing each other. Someone stabbed someone else with a knife or killed someone with a bottle. Sometimes you also hear that the trucks just reverse without paying attention and run someone over. So when he goes off, I can only pray to God to protect him, to look out for him, because on the dump site, many bad things happen.
Richie says it's every man for himself at the dump site. He's scared of the older boys and men who try to steal the waste he has collected. Just yesterday he was attacked, a traumatizing experience.
I was scavenging like I usually do in the morning. I picked a full sack of plastic. Something told me I should hide it. When I came back for it, I found a guy called Mwalo had taken my sack. I told him, "Mwalo, this is mine." He locked me up inside a truck. It was about 7 in the morning. I don't know if he was sent by the devil. He beat me up until 10 o'clock that evening.
A climate of fear has taken hold on the dump site, which the authorities declared full in 2001 and which was supposed to be closed down years ago. It's the capital's only official dump site and technically belongs to the local government. But instead of government offices, so the people here say, gangs control the landfill. In a seemingly lawless zone, they have established rules that everyone who wants to enter the dump site has to abide by. There's a strict picking hierarchy. An Wanjiku, who has been a scavenger for 6 years, knows the valuable trash belongs to the gang leaders and those collecting for them.
We know the rules of this place. If you want to work here, you have to abide by them. You should never pick from a truck you aren't supposed to pick from. You must wait for them to finish taking everything they want. Otherwise, it's just outright war.
That truck is reserved for someone else, right, Richie?
You'll be beaten up if you try and scavenge from that one. You know who it belongs to? It's already owned.
But it's not only the scavengers who have to follow the rules. It's also the truck drivers who bring in an estimated 850 tons of waste here every day. We are told that they are charged an illegal security and offloading fee of $5 to $7, depending on how much trash they have to dump.
Have you already paid your security fee?
When you come in, that's when you pay for everything at the gate.
The gangs at the site are overseen by so-called dump site lords. We find one who's willing to speak to us anonymously.
It's the gangs that control the dump site. We cannot just let anyone from outside come and pick the garbage. There was what we called the revolution, the overthrowing of the leadership of the dump site. The gangs fought each other. It was many people against one another. Around 14 to 15 people died at that time. People fought with machetes. They were slaughtering each other. It was a bad time. Those who took over are the ones who are controlling the dump site now. But the current leadership is just waiting for a mutiny and another power struggle for control.
The dump site lord says it's not the gangs running the dump site who make the big money. It's the people they answer to, the garbage cartels, networks of private companies and subcontractors that secure the lucrative government contracts for waste management. These contracts are known to be worth millions of dollars.
There are the cartels, powerful people. If you openly speak out about the dealings they're involved in, you're in danger. They all hide how they make their money, but they own the government contracts. For anyone in Kenya to get anything, you have to pay. We're used to it. Even these contracts come in return for kickbacks.
That garbage is a lucrative business is no secret in Kenya, where 1/3 of citizens live below the poverty line. The governor of Nairobi, Mike Sonko, and other senior officials have been accused of making irregular payments for garbage collection services amounting to $3.5 million. The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission has accused the governor himself of accepting large bribes. Since Kenyan law forbids the commission from discussing cases which are before court, we asked the head of the commission, Twalib Abdallah Mbarak, to comment on corruption surrounding tender awards in general.
It is a serious problem because it involves a lot of money. It is severe because it is the private companies that are doing business with government, that quite a number of them that are encouraging this problem. Because when it involves big money, some of the private companies are willing to part with big money and bribe their public officers. People can collude and put certain requirements because they are looking at a certain company to win, deliberately.
Mbarak says that bribery is not the only form that corruption takes. Often the price of the job itself is deliberately inflated.
Maybe this tender was supposed to cost 800 million shillings. It is deliberately skewed to cost 1 billion. And silently, the 200 million is being shared between some government officers who are involved in the tender award.
The government department in charge of awarding the garbage contracts declined to comment or give us an interview. Deep inside the dump site, Richie has been granted permission to pick small plastics to sell in return for filling one of the dump site lord's bags with the valuable trash. His own sack is not full yet. He must keep going if he and his mother are to eat tonight. Anne is only one of many people who have asked the government to step up and improve the livelihoods of the people in Dandora.
The government should create jobs. Yes, this is work, but you find educated people working here. They aren't supposed to be here. And what about our children? I've struggled to get my children educated. I've endured this hardship so that they can go to school. And then where do I find my child ending up? Back here. See, that makes us sad.
Finally, the bag is full. Time to weigh the pickings of the day. While there is no other way for Richie and his mother to make a living, they haven't given up hope yet.
I really yearn for Richie to get an education, to know that he has passed his exams and is now flying away. That would be my joy. But not for him to spend his whole life at the dump site, because that is no life.
I only want to be a pilot. Nothing but a pilot. That's what I want to be.
The wheels of justice are slow in Kenya. There is no saying how long it will take for corruption in the tendering system to end, for the gangs to stop intimidating Nairobi's poorest, and for conditions at the dump site to improve. Today, Richie has collected 5 kilograms of plastic. He is going home with 75 shillings. That's less than $1 US. Tomorrow, he will be back.